So that's going to be interesting to see. Now that we talked about the offseason, we got to talk about your quarterback now. Drake May in his second season. He's people liked how he looked at the end of last season. Of course, he's looking a lot better in this offseason, especially during mini camp and training camp. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, he looked like he was having a really good training camp today against the Commanders. What are your expectations for Drake May this season?
I think he has the ability and the possibility to be considered to be in the running for probably most improved player this year, and that's just because of who he has as his OC. When you just think about what his predecessor was when I refuse to say that guy's name, but anyway, what his predecessor was when Josh was there. He actually made the Pro Bowl. So so what you said earlier about him completing the short passes, if you look at a lot of Josh's hold on a second. My apologies, my uncle didn't know. Anyway, our uncle didn't know. Anywho, a lot of their offense is about dink and dunk, right? The Patriots with Josh McDaniels would dink and dunk you for forever, and then all of a sudden someone's down the middle of the field by themselves, right? Because you're looking at all these crossing routes, and then they'll sneak in someone behind that'll run a wheel route on you or something like that, and then they're down the field, 30 yards, 40 yards down the field on you. So I'm not surprised that they're not showing any deep balls right now, but with Polk and all those guys there, they're definitely going to be able to go deep down the field. I think Drake, he can probably be in the running for most improved player. Now, some people are saying, oh, he could be in the MVP race and all stuff like that. That's going way too far. I heard that on Get Up, and then they were talking about that Peter, what's his name, said something like that. But I think that's going too far. Now, is it impossible? No, of course, but I think he'll have a solid season this year. I in particularly considering who he had as his OC last year, I think this is his first year versus being his going into his second year. He probably learned a little bit from Alex, being though he was former quarterback, so he may have learned some valuable things from him. But just look at the quarterbacks that Josh has produced. He look who he won in Denver with. What I'm saying? Like look who he won.
Tim Tebow, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So and this guy definitely has more arm talent than Tim Tebow. So he'll have a great year.
All right, you have a stat prediction. What do you think? What do you think his stats will be? What do you think his stats will be this season?
I don't know, man. I think he'll come close to throwing for 4,000 yards, right? He'll come close to it. And the reason why I say that is because, most people forget about the tight ends that they have. I think Hunter Henry is going to be used a lot better. And if you remember, his first year there with Josh, he was used a lot better, and he had a great year. I don't know, man. I think that the one thing that most people are underestimating is the two running backs catching the ball out of the backfield.
I heard a lot about Henderson. I heard that people can see him being split out wide because he's very versatile as far as catching.
Very versatile, right? And Ramondre actually doesn't have bad hands. He just for some reason when he actually has the ball in his hand, he's running with it. He forgets that he's running with the ball and drops it on the ground too much. But I think that you're going to see them do a lot of 5 wide, and I think the one thing that gives is going to have people reluctant to blitz during that time is the fact of how athletic Drake is. That portion of his game that most people forget about, the fact that he can move. He moves very well, and he can run, and he'll take off on you. Right. So I think they're going to be very creative. Josh has always been very creative in how he does stuff. So I can see him doing that. I don't see him throwing 30 touchdowns. Right. I don't see anything close to that. Probably somewhere in the 24, 26 range, maybe.
Mhm.
Right. I still think he's going to throw some picks. So I think he's still going to put up maybe 8 to 11 picks.
Okay.
That's going to happen. Hopefully they're not happening in a timely in the wrong time. You know, what I'm saying, that loses games for us. But I can see that happening. So somewhere in the 24 to 26 touchdowns and somewhere between 8 to 11 interceptions this year, with throwing for probably about 37, maybe 3,800 yards.
Okay. That's actually that's a pretty good season after you pretty much starting off in the bench last season with who at quarterback, the guy that was there before, and
No, that's not the guy I'm talking about. I'm talking
no,
about.
no, no. I know you talking about Mac Jones. I know who
And
you talking about.
yeah,
He's 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 my backup now.
yeah,
So
is he with you guys?
mhm.
Yeah.
so now we got to talk about the schedule.